It's after midnight, and it's time for conversations about love, family, friends, sex, and life. It's Love and Life with Carol Riddick and Donavan West, only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family, and welcome to another episode of Love and Life. You are tuned in to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, and I am your host, Carol Riddick, and who you hear in the background is my assistant, Chloe, my fur child, with whom you are all familiar. Those of you who are not, meet Chloe, whom you hear loud and clearly, I'm sure. In any event, I'm happy to be here with you. I'm always happy to be here with you. It's my pleasure and my privilege to spend some time with you and, to share some things. I like to share. Y'all know I do. We are well into Black History Month, and I really do hope that you guys are continuing your celebrations, that it wasn't just a one-day thing, like, oh, yay, February, Black History Month, and that's it. I hope you guys are continuing it as I am, because I'm excited about it. I'm also excited to share with you once again today's guests. Normally I have our guests, waiting. But I said, no. I want you all to be with me through the intro of the show because I just love them to pieces, as they already know. And you know, too, because you've met them before. But family, welcome the Baylors, none other than Marcus and Jean Baylor. See, I had to get some sound effects so I can...
thunderous applause.
Right.
I see people and a tambourine.
That's what.
Okay.
I mean,
just
listen. That's your husband. That's your husband, right? But
they didn't disclose all the information. See,
I'm learning. More and more with the couples with whom I speak. One of the members of the couple says that I didn't have all the fine print. Prior to the I do. They say that's what they say. That's what they say. But thank you to the both of you for, number one, obliging and accommodating. I cannot thank you enough. How about that?
Listen, we are happy to be here. And listen, we already know unexpected things. We have come to expect the unexpected. Amen.
Yes, amen.
Yeah. Okay.
Amen.
Don't be surprised.
So, family, let me bring you all up to speed. Okay, so life, as we all have been living on our on our wheels, because I consider myself to be a hamster on the wheel. But more often than not these days, I feel like I'm juggling about 5 wheels at one time. I'm the hamster just jumping from one wheel to the other, as are you. So I'm not telling you anything with which you cannot relate. But when I called my good brother and my good sister and invited them to be guests, first of all, they're like, okay, yeah, wait now, because they are not only juggling 5 wheels, but there are 2 of them. So they got to check. Okay, well, can we do this at the same time? Because
and
what is
like? I got to put makeup on.
Girl, listen, this is it right here.
Okay, natural makeup.
This is it.
This is it.
I will tell you that I am so happy that we are living in the days of self-love and self-care, and we are accepting who we are. Okay. I know. Listen. I've never been more happy about it because, we always, now family, we always have to be what we call done. We always have to be ready, and some days you don't feel like being done or ready. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Even when I get done and ready, I still ain't ready.
Hello. Oh, Jean. Okay, that's a whole nother.
You already know.
Look, I'm just. This is all sister talk. Here, but y'all go ahead and just go ahead.
Listen, I got my little homemade cappuccino.
Wait, I just finished
That's
my. So everybody who knows I love a matcha green tea with my oat milk and
yes,
some honey,
yes,
right? Or
yes,
almond milk. I'll switch sometimes.
yes.
You know,
I
when I'm
do
feeling
too. I do
when I'm
too.
feeling like calorie conscious, then
Yeah,
I'll go
yeah,
for
I know,
almond
because
milk.
them oat milk ain't no joke. I had to
Eh,
split the difference. This is half
Oh,
oat, half almond with my
that's what
little
I
instant
want to do.
espresso.
Oh,
Because I don't know how
Jean,
to make no real cappuccino, but that's all
let
right.
me.
Because I got the little
Yes,
$20
you do.
handheld. You
Yes,
know what
you
I'm
do.
saying?
That's a real cappuccino right
I
there.
just
You hear
saved
me?
$5 to
I
start.
call it a hug in a mug. I can make
Oh,
my own hug in a mug.
A hug and a mug. And I was just talking to somebody about Starbucks, like banana nut bread, and I'm like, well, now I want some banana nut bread, but all I got in there is bananas and nuts.
See,
That's not gonna get it done.
no, we just in our
wow.
brain the bread. We add the part. Just,
Hmm.
just But in any event, I have been wanting to share with our family members, the two of you. Once again, you guys joined me when I was guest hosting, some months ago, but I felt it so necessary to bring you all back because, first of all, let me congratulate you. Number one, the Baylors, for those who are unaware, okay, are not only Grammy Award nominees, but they are also NAACP Image Award nominees. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. See, I gotta get some more.
See the confetti. Sometimes you got to listen. You got to clap for yourself.
You better all the time,
Oh, God.
especially nowadays. Marcus, I need the tambourine. I need to hear it though, because I didn't hear it. Yes, that's what I. That's what. Wait,
My
wait.
God. Oh Lord.
So
Mm-hmm.
before I talk to you two about being man and wife, because family members, as you know, tonight we're talking about love. We're talking about couple love. We're talking about couple life. We're talking about coupledom. Okay, and we know everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, and we're interested in the Baylor's story. Now I know a few things that I'm going to pull back out of my pocket that we'll talk about, but I just want to know how you both feel about getting your flowers, like some of your flowers, because you haven't even received all of your flowers, but with regard to your nominations, just
Wow.
please tell us how you feel.
Well, I'll go first because I think you get to see how Marcus feels. See, if you follow us on IG or Facebook, you get to see it in physical form where he darts out and is running down the street and hollering, and our neighbors look out the window like, "Is there fire? What's happening?" Like, no, no, there's not a fire, but hopefully this is light our trails on the fire. So we're just super excited about it because it's like, we've both been in the industry a good a while, about
Mm-hmm.
25 years each, give or take,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a wild ride. And anybody who's been in the industry that long knows that it's a roller coaster ride, and it's very unpredictable. And so I think we've kind of stepped into our sweet spot, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that because it's a nice place to be. So I'm excited.
I would say that you have stepped into your sweet spot. For those of us who are friends and fans, you've been there for a while. You've already been there in your sweet spot for such a good long time, which is why we know and love you for that. You family. Let me just tell you. Okay.
Tell it like
For
it
those
is.
who are unaware, okay, the Baylors, I don't even know how long we've known each other, but we've all known each other for so long that, when you see your family doing and walking in their path, walking along their journey, the journey that you see and know and love, for them and for them to be, it's just it like my excitement magnifies more and more and more and more and more and more for you guys every time I see another like hand clap, every time I see another person who's introduced to you or learns of you, every time I see another nomination. So that's me speaking personally, okay,
Wow.
telling our family members who are listening uh, about how I feel. But I'm so glad, to know that there are others who know what those of us who know you,
Yeah.
know of you. Like they feel you, they see you, and they receive you like we do. And I feel like that's a tremendous blessing that you both
Yes.
deserve.
Oh,
You,
thank I mean, I would say I'm, filled with gratitude in terms of, like Gene said, being in the industry a while. It really just speaks to, it speaks to just, being able to be an inspiration to those that feel like it may be too late. I mean, because we've been seasoned in our career, and just to
Mhm.
see that these things are happening, it's never too late. It's never too late to not just dream, but really put the strategies and the goals in place. I mean, like my background coming out of Ice Play with Jazz, we call the Yellow Jackets, being a member of that group for 10 years, and Gene coming out of being a part of the R&B duo Jeanne. We've been blessed to have a great career, but at the same time, when we decided to uh, build upon this vision of the Baylor Project, we had to start over
Mhm.
in terms
Mhm.
of just being strategic, trying to find a gig, trying to find places to play, but also what was our vision and where were we going together in terms of this. And so I just want to just be, once again, just hopefully our life and our journey could be an inspiration that each decade, each day, all of it gets better. It's all about your perspective of it. So it gets better each day. Trust us. I mean, not that it's been easy. I mean, we have definitely faced our challenges, and saying, hey, why won't you go back and do this? Why won't you go back and do
Mhm.
that? Or, you feeling sometimes your best days has already gone ahead of you. But just know that it's possible, and we just want to be an inspiration to that. Yeah.
Marcus, I can't thank you enough for sharing that. Family, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media at 96.1 FM and 900 AM. We are talking with none other than the Baylors, Marcus and Jean Baylor, whom we all know and love and adore. And Marcus, you just shared a few things, a few gems with us. For those who missed what he did say, he said that he came from having a background playing with the Yellow Jackets, and Gene came from having a background of the duo Jeanne. So the Yellow Jackets would play primarily jazz, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
correct,
Yeah.
and Jeanne was R&B. I want to talk about how you two first came together, but I also want to transition into how you made the decision to come together, and what that conversation was like when you
Mm-hmm.
decided who you were going to be as the Baylors. So I know that's a lot,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Wow. Jane, do you want to start off?
Well, see when you say well, then you know
well,
it's gonna be a thing,
Yes.
right? um, you know, when we got married. So before we got married, I mean, at some we're gonna talk about how we met because that's pretty funny too. But when we had gotten married, he was still in the Yellow Jackets. I had, excuse me, probably within the year or so, year or two, I had left Jeanne and just in search of just sometimes you go through seasons of change in your life. Um, and of growth, that put you in a position to kind of grow and find yourself, so to speak, and I needed to be able to explore music um, on my own as an individual, just to kind of find my place in it. And one thing that I've always been kind of, well, the older I get, but just tied to purpose. Not just like doing something just because you've done it and that's what people expect you to do, kind of thing. So I was kind of on that path and just not knowing what that looked like. um, and we met, and so I was just kind of trying to figure it out. And um, Marcus was touring and things, and he was kind of coming up on his transitional period as well, where it was time for him to kind of grow, because he was pretty young. When we met, I think if I remember correctly, I was 29 and had some cougar tendencies because he was 23, and so I was like,
Cougar.
you're a mess. You are such a mess.
somebody say cougar tendencies. I mean, he was legal, hey man. Why you put your shades on, bro?
What is happening? What is happening?
Not necessary. Not necessary. He's like, I don't know where this is going.
Oh, oh,
So, yeah.
I
So,
needed that. The shades were everything. The shades were everything. For those of you who could
My
not see,
nails.
he Marcus put his shades on. You know, he had to let us know.
He said, I don't want to be a part of this. So, but, we were just kind of figuring it out. And, you're in the same space. So he has a drum machine and he's kind of like programming some beats and just, having fun with that. And of course, I start hearing something. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? So, long story short, we just kind of started by default doing some music together. And that resulted in our first independent project called Testimony My Life Story. And we were just trying to find our way,
Hmm.
And that project in and of itself was a huge learning experience on so many levels because we didn't understand like we knew some things were business, but we didn't really get it. So we
Mm.
were pretty much displaced from understanding, not displaced, that's not the right word, but we were just on the outside of that whole mindset of understanding what changes are happening in your industry and as a whole, and how that impacts all the moving parts of the industry and what it is that you want to do. We were just like, oh, working on music. So,
Hmm.
some of the business decisions were like, now we can laugh at them. Back then it was like,
I ain't laughing.
Oh,
I mean, it still
uh-uh.
hurts a little bit, but even if we recover, you'd be like, we ain't going back to that. So it kind of forced us to really get serious about being really thoughtful about what it is we're doing, why we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, what do we want to get out of it, and how we're going to
Mm.
put our best efforts into understanding how we're going to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. So, I mean, it was a useful and very expensive education, but that's how we kind of started working together, just, being together and on the process of finding our way with it.
So this was while you were dating or after you had gotten married?
This is after we were married. I don't think we weren't
Okay.
working any music while we were dating, but he, because he was with the Yellow Jackets and I would go out and with them sometimes if they were, had a show, or if they're in LA for a
Hmm.
couple of days or a week, I would fly out and hang out. And so, they had me singing every now and then. I'd sing a song. I got to record with them on a
Oh,
couple of their albums,
nice.
which was super cool. And so if I was in town or if I was there at the gig, they'd say, "Hey, come on and sing with us." And so that was fun. That was kind of like,
Whew.
you know, getting a chance to just get up there with some of these amazing, some of the best musicians in the world, and just like, sing a song or co-write something.
Yeah,
So we started at that point, really.
yeah.
I remember the first
Wow.
time when we were dating early on, and he came down to my place because I was down by where we live now, and he was still in New York. And I was just playing some stuff, and it was actually a performance that I did with Orrin Evans. Um, and it was a local
Orange.
spot. Yeah, that's family. Philly
Yes.
fam.
Yes.
Philly fam.
He was also Grammy nominated. Was
Yeah.
he nominated
It,
this year? NAACP nominated.
Yeah, yeah. He
okay.
was
Okay. Oh, wow.
previously Grammy nominated.
Yeah.
So
Get it, Orange.
we did this gig. I'm trying to remember if it was like just piano duo or if we had a trio.
It was a duo.
It was a duo gig. Yeah, it was fun. And I played some of that for Marcus, and he was like, "Oh, well, hold up now. What, turn that back. What? Oh, wait a minute now." He's like, "Oh, I didn't know you." I'm like, "Well, we went to temple for jazz, but I didn't know anything about it, so." And we had that conversation, and he was like, "Well, what else you got?" And so I just sang out, sat at the keyboard, and started playing through some hymns. He was like, "What? What? Well, now hold on now." So
Wait, is it?
I didn't hear all that back. I mean, I know. I
he
just
said, "What?
hey,
What? What? What?
got to say it like it is.
No, 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 what? No, wait a minute. I mean, okay, so I mean, yeah, but that's
Is
Marcus.
that what you were doing, Marcus? That was
Yeah, but yeah,
He was trying to figure it out. It's like, you can't put everything on every record. So, yeah, that's how we kind of
yeah.
musically
And
connected.
and Orrin was the person that introduced us.
really. Now, see, I never knew that.
Okay, go ahead, Gene. I'm you got the floor. Just go ahead and just do what you do.
Oh. Righty then. Well, what had happened was I had ASCAP was doing a showcase for up and coming singers and songwriters and producers, and it was such a cool vibe then. And
You know what? This is what I want to do because I want you to have all the time you need to
Yeah.
tell
time
us
for a
this
bathroom break.
story. Yeah, listen,
You know, I love a good bathroom break.
So, family, if you have just tuned in, you are listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We are talking with none other than Marcus and Jean Baylor, aka the Baylor Project. And we're going to find out how they met because I want to hear all of this story and I don't want them to be interrupted. So, how about you stay with us, okay? Because we'll be right back.
Word on Jobs. A new year is here, and if you're searching for new career goals or a new job that fits your skill set, visit wordworks.com to view jobs and program opportunities, including Community Relations Coordinator for WHYY, Disability Services Director for NBME, and Policy Director for Bicycle Coalition of Greater Philadelphia. Visit wordworks at word.com and find the career opportunity that's right for you. Brought to you by Pico and Livelihood at Word Radio.
Imagine you on a deserted island all by yourself, or even being in a crowd of people yet still feeling alone. That's what being a victim of sexual assault can feel like. Victims of sexual assault are at an increased risk for developing depression, PTSD, substance abuse, eating disorders, and anxiety. Sexual assault can happen to anyone and is any unwanted sexual contact such as unwanted touching, fondling, groping, or even rape. No always means no, so speak up and speak out. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Black Americans have died of COVID-19 at over 2 times the rate of white counterparts. This is due to systemic racism and healthcare disparities. Here are some tips for protecting yourself. Wear a mask covering your mouth and nose. Avoid crowds. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use alcohol-based sanitizers. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Practice social distancing and follow World Health Organization guidelines. Quarantine if you've been exposed to the virus. Self-isolate if you're experiencing symptoms. Seek medical attention if you experience difficulty breathing, a fever, cough, sudden confusion, or pressure in your chest. If you don't have health insurance or a healthcare provider, try contacting your state health department, community health clinics, or local hospitals for testing and treatment. Together, we can stay informed and empowered. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
When I cross the finish line, it's not just me. I succeed because of others. When I was pregnant, I survived because of others. At 32 weeks, I was diagnosed with preeclampsia and had an emergency C-section. Because my doctor took quick action and my husband was there to help me, I'm alive. Too many women die of pregnancy-related complications, and most are preventable. If you or someone you know is pregnant or recently had a baby, learn the warning signs. It could help save her life. Hear her.
For the Indianapolis Colts. Becoming a running back was no easy task for me. But it's nothing compared to what my amazing mom faces every day. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14 years old. Yet she's always there for me, every step of the way, despite her own battles. And the Muscular Dystrophy Association is there for my mom. At their 150 care centers across the U.S., MDA is the leading organization in research and care for kids and adults with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Their research is helping find cures and save lives. Watching my mom go through her daily struggles and the care she receives from MDA has made me determined to help find a cure for neuromuscular disease. That is why I support MDA, and that's why I'm so grateful to others who do too. Join me and learn more at helpmda.org today.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hopkins, aka The Food Griot, the host of Savory and Sweet, a new show about food, history, and culture. Savory and Sweet is a flavorful exploration of food marinated in the Black experience, seared with history and braised culture. Each week, I'll fold in conversations that center food and drink at the intersection of business, health and well-being, entertainment, education, and innovation. while separating the facts from fiction on the sometimes surprising origins of what we eat and drink. So join me, the Food Griot, and special guests for Savory and Sweet Food History and Culture every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. beginning January 2nd, 2022, exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent Black media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media at 96.1 FM and 900 AM. I want to send a special hello to our family members who are also joining us on our socials. We know that you are there. We appreciate you. I so appreciate you just hanging out and showing up and showing some love, especially in this midnight hour. You know, we really, really, really do appreciate you. So before the break, we were talking with, we were actually about to hear how our guests met. Now, I did not know, as they shared earlier, that they were introduced. Well, it was all because of Orrin Evans, another one of our family members. But Mrs. Baylor was just about to share with us their story that I can't wait to hear. Jean. Wait, she had to take a sip. She had to get a sip from the hug in a mug.
I had to take a little sip. Let the vocal cords a little bit. So, we had there was a showcase, ASCAP, right? And it was upcoming singer-songwriters and singers, songwriters, and producers. And so I wanted to be in it. And each act had 20 minutes, whatever. So they had a house band, and I didn't want to do the house band because you never know. You know, it could be great, it could be tricky, it could be, you know. So I went ahead and kind of formulated my own band. And Orrin was on keys, and I needed a drummer. And so I did try. Marcus complains that he wasn't the first call. I didn't know him.
I wasn't the first call.
You were not the first call, but since I didn't know you, right?
My assistant, everyone, my assistant has joined the frame.
She's the boss.
And
hey,
she's
boss
talking.
Lady.
Okay, and she's talking. We didn't anticipate that, but so sad.
So, he recommended Marcus. I found a drummer, and he was flaking out, and so I needed somebody. He's like, I just ran into Marcus Baylor, Yellow Jackets. I'm like, really? So I'm like, all right, let me call him and see if it'll do it. And you know, he got on the phone and he was like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. So that's how we met. But we actually met when we, this was back in the day now. It's officially back in the day where.
Back in the day.
Where there was no, like the MP3s and 4s, that wasn't a thing, you know. So if you wanted to like get somebody some music, you actually had to either mail it or physically take it to them, you know. You imagine that?
Okay, that's really back in the day, Jane. That's really, yes, yeah.
That's back in the day. That's like Moses time now. And I had a meeting up in New York, so I was like, I'm gonna be up there Wednesday, blah blah blah. And he's like, all right, we can meet. So we picked a place that we both knew, and it was in front of the Blue Note. And so we're like, all right, cool, I'll meet you down there. So, and we had this is before FaceTime and all of the other stuff and social media. So if you were talking to somebody on the phone, you didn't know what they looked like. Like, think about that. That wasn't really an option to be like, oh, let me video you in. No, you just talk, you hear somebody's voice. So, sidebar, if you met a dude on the phone and you're trying to figure out if he sounded cute or not. You remember those days?
I sure do. Yeah, there was no
Wow.
Facebook. There was none of that to check.
None of
I don't even
that.
think we had MySpace at that time. There was none of that to
No,
check.
none of
No.
that. It was just
No.
like, yeah,
Mm-mm.
you just, it was a different human interaction. It was a pretty cool time. Pretty cool. Um, but it's nice to be able to check too, what I'm saying. Um, we can do that. So
Really?
we met in front of the Blue Note, and I'm waiting for him. And I don't know what he looks like, and he didn't really know what I looked like. He knew I was from the group, so it was either, me or Renee, but he just didn't know. I mean, he could have found that out. No, did we have Google back then? We did have email. I don't know. But he's walking down the street, and I'm looking for like some super artsy looking dude, with tats or like locks or like a bunch of jewelry, a lot of different things, and none of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and every time some guy would walk past, I'll be like, no, that's not him. No, no, okay, no, that's not him. That's a real thing.
That is real. That
Right.
is so real.
And he's walking down the street. And I didn't know it was him. He's super clean cut looking dude. I'm like, no, that's not him. And he walks down and he walks high. I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. And I was just like on the inside.
That again?
On the outside, I was like, hi, nice to meet you. On the inside,
Oh, wait, and the shades have returned.
Bobby said it best. Belongs to Tenderoni. Mm-hmm. Tenderoni goes both ways. Don't play. Don't play.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
look here now.
She said, look at here. What do we have here?
Yeah, he was. Look, cute little tender.
Look at Marcus. Family, I wish for those of you who cannot see us, for those of you who are just listening, I wish you could see the look on Marcus's face right now. My poor brother. He looks like I'm not here for this foolishness. That's what he looks like. That's what he
I ain't done with the story.
Nope. But I almost did. So when he was walking down the street, I noticed not only that he was like super clean cut, and I was wondering, I was like, oh, that's probably not him. But he had went in his pocket and pulled out some change and gave it to this homeless brother who was on the street. And I was like, oh, that was so nice. And then I was looking, and then, a few minutes he walks up to him. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's him. So it created a really nice, what's that word? Philanthropic
Yes.
first impression. It's like,
Yes.
oh, okay. Now,
He said he has a good heart.
yeah. Well, see, a couple months later, he admitted that he saw me looking.
No.
And then
Now, I would have gave anyway.
maybe, yeah, I think it would have gave, but I'm saying no, it was like a little extra sauce on it. I was like,
Well, listen, I love the fact that he could identify. He said, you know what, I'm going to I'm gonna just do this right here because I know I got one of our eyes, if not both of them.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I was like, wow.
I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry.
So that's how we met.
That's how we met.
So, Marcus, do you want to dispute Jean's version?
Don't do it.
No, I mean, no,
Don't
I
do
ain't.
it.
I mean, nothing really to dispute for real. Nothing to dispute. I mean, after that, what we did the showcase, you fell in love with me
Oh,
on the stage at the showcase.
nice.
Well,
So
now,
you're gonna have the only person.
because see, who you need to interview is Eric Roberson. See, because he told the truth. He was like, I saw the brother fall in love with you. By the time he was like, we hooked up, like, hey, what's up with? Oh, I'm dating this guy. She was like, I already know who it is. I'm like, who you know? How you know who it is? He was that brother. He's playing the drums. I was like, how do you know who it is? He was like, man, please. I saw it. He tells the funniest story because he's like, I'm sitting there, and we actually had him tell it a little bit on our last album. He's in the intro to Happy to Be With You because he's like, he just looked at you when I sat there and played and sang the song. He said, he looked at you like, that's my future. He was like, man.
Eric can tell a story.
Oh, wait,
He was like,
okay, I should
I
have
already
called
know.
Eric to tell
then-
this story.
You have to. And then he was like, y'all shared a quick second where you caught your eye, and he was like, mm-hmm. So he saw it happen. He didn't tell me about it right away.
And I think the other part of the question she asked was, what was how did we start or something like that musically together?
Yes, so
Yeah.
I was. Marcus says we're going to move on. We're going to move on.
Right.
So,
He's
so
not.
this is what we'll do. We'll move on in this moment, but then we'll come back. But the other part of the question was, I was asking that because you two come from you had come from two different genres,
Mhm.
well,
Yes.
publicly,
Yeah.
because Gene, you and I, we were in Temple together, so I know you studied, but publicly, the public was familiar with you with regard to your performance and your life in the R&B genre, and
Mhm.
Marcus, yours in jazz. So how, when you both decided, okay, this is what we're going to do, like, what was that conversation like, deciding,
Wow.
what you were going, who the Baylor project is and was going
Oh,
to be?
Well,
yeah. Let me get
it's
that to him.
it's crazy
I
because
had no vision.
no, you know what's crazy? Like I think so. We started the Baylor Project around what 2015 or something like that.
Mhm.
2014, 15, one of those years. And so prior to that, after being married these years, I remember back around 2003.
Wait, all these years is how many? Well, like,
We got married in 2002. There it
okay.
is.
There it is.
That
There
is
it is.
correct.
Y'all do the math. Amen. Uh, but at what's that? 20 years. Okay, amen. But
Amen.
so we got married in 2002, but I remember there was a good buddy that worked at I was like, when people talk about confirmations, yeah, that's two confirmations. The first confirmation was, I mean, we were not thinking about doing like a band thing together. This was back around 2002, and there was a buddy that worked at EMI Music at the time, which is now Sony,
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Hey man, you guys should do something together. You on drums, Marcus and Gene singing." I was in the Yellow Jackets at the time, and just never really thought about it. I mean, we would write and we started producing like summer, Gene's solo work together. We did that. But then fast forward maybe like a couple years later, we was working with a radio promoter for Gene's first album, and he said, "Man, you guys should do something Baylor to Baylor." Like, still didn't make sense. That's like 2005. Still,
Really?
yes, it just totally did. Just totally went over both our heads. Like, no, that don't really make sense. But so we just go on with our lives. We still producing music together at home in the studio, and what's crazy about it is that my history was I was blessed once I came. My first major touring gig was with this artist named Cassandra Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm.
the bands that I became a part of and growing up, Gene and I are both preachers' kids. Is that I mean, we grew up with all music, gospel, jazz, R&B, soul. We just grew up with black music as well as, pop music or whatever was on the radio. So we never saw music as a genre. I never saw it as a genre. So it's crazy because my first gig with Cassandra Wilson, although she received a lot of, credentials and Grammys, like, in the jazz world, music
Mm-hmm.
is everything. It's
It
folk,
is.
blues, is you're talking about. She has a song that's on what's that? The Love Jones soundtrack. So you have that, and just all these different
She's so
You
multifaceted.
move me.
Oh,
Look,
Okay.
there it is.
sorry. So sorry. So
So
with that moment was necessary. So sorry.
yeah, and then you have, and then after that, I toured with a jazz artist named Kenny Garrett that incorporates everything in his music.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, I joined the Yellow Jackets. Well, that band is like, I mean, it incorporates so much all of black music. Like, I mean, they have like Russell Ferrante, the pianist, has written on Layla Hathaway's record, Anita
Mm-hmm.
Baker's record.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
this one got me. When he told me he played on Elder Barge records,
He did.
I think he played on some of that. I think. I could be wrong.
See,
I gotta pull out but so when you look at that, just that era, I mean, like when you think about just the 80s in terms of like, the studio musicians and singing, you think about Anita Baker. I mean, you got
mm-hmm.
Bill Sample, you got George Duke. All
Mm-hmm.
these amazing musicians that we love were producing those records. So I say all that to say, when we started the Baylor Project, it was around, I guess, 2014, whatever. And, Jean has been, she has written for a few artists and just trying to figure it out. And one thing that that I thought about is that we just love all music. We don't see it as a genre. We don't see it as this lane or that lane. It's everything that we are as a people. And, during that time, I stopped playing with the Yellow Jackets in 2010, and that's when I started getting into production. And a good buddy of ours, we started hanging out with Carvin and Carvin. And so,
Carvin Hagens.
Yep, Carvin Hagens.
And Ivan Barrios.
Yep. And so through that process, I really learned a lot about production and just producing. And so when you fast forward that, we come into 2014. I was like, babe, we should start this band after long showers. I want to get back to playing drums, get back to touring, and we should start this band called the Baylor Project.
I am mind blown. Wait. Well, what we're going to do right now, because I'm going to tell you about what I am mind blown, but I'm going to wait until after our commercial break to do so. So, family, stay with us, okay? Because we've got so much more to talk about. We're talking with the Baylors, and you are listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We'll be right back.
What's up, y'all? It's Janae Latrice
and Kayla J. Be sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. for
Crosswords, sharing conversations across generations, right here on WURD.
Progressive Black Talk Media.
We'll see you there.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes. But if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
A lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
We're often influenced by what we see or hear on social media. Beware of disinformation campaigns targeting Black communities by using cultural issues to incite divisions, spread false information, and negatively influence public opinions. We're in this together, and together we can stay informed and empowered. Learn more at nbcit.org. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things will never ever be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
Hey, still shopping for the new year? Or did you receive a gift card for the holidays? Either way, Word Radio's got you covered. Visit wordradio.com and shop at the Word Virtual Marketplace. You can support local, small, black-owned businesses through the marketplace and shop today. Visit wordradio.com/marketplace or wordworks.com/marketplace. You're listening to Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're at 96.1 FM and 900 AM. You know, I did not mention to you all that if ever you feel the need to just reach out, or if you want to send us a comment, a question, or a topic to discuss even, you can do so by emailing us. I know, right? What? You can email us at loveandlife@wordradio.com. That is loveandlife@wordradio.com. So we've been talking with our guests this evening, none other than the Baylor Project, Marcus and Jean Baylor. And when I tell you all the shenanigans that can happen are happening, like everything that can happen is happening. But guess what? Okay, it's all in love. It's all in good, clean fun. So we're here for all of it. Okay, we're here for all of it. We're rebuking anything that is not. Okay, good. So with that being said, I was explaining that I am totally spellbound and mind blown that in all the years that you two were together, like, you know, after you first got married and listen, the forces, the universe, everybody was saying, you two should work together. You two should do a project together. You two. The two of you were the only two who were saying, no, I don't think so. I'm like, I'm not feeling that. Like, that's no. Yeah, what? That doesn't make sense.
There's a lot that comes with that. No. You know what? We were working together and producing together in the studio, but we never really, I mean, the vision was for us to tour together, but we never thought about under both of our names. It was more so under Gene and I, you know, we was just producing and writing music together.
Sure.
But after, you know, it was a long travel one day, and this idea came, well, we should start this band, the Baylor Project.
Pause. The reason he said it's a long shower is
Okay.
because that's like his space, like creatively or something, or like where he connects with God or something. I don't know, but every time if he's in the shower for like 10 minutes and more, not only is the water bill going to be high, but he's going to come out with a life-changing idea that's more than likely going to make no sense to me. And I'm going to be like, so I've learned. I hear the water run. Oh, boy. Here we go.
Wow.
That's the shower. So we got to And our shower's kind of like ugly. So if we, really do some rehab, like a real nice shower.
Yeah.
Well, I put the light off and I light a candle.
See,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he
I mean,
does.
Gene did
see.
introduce me to that.
Oh, I'm going to have to send you one of my candles. I have to send you.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so that's a whole nother conversation. But in any event, so no, but you might not want to change the bathroom because that might be a part of the
Nah,
magic.
it just needs somewhere warm and cozy.
Uh-uh.
See, yeah,
Because you know what? It's
The
like,
tub is like the mustard yellow thing.
but
That's problematic. It could be worse, but it could be so much
okay, but
better.
we're gonna
but
act
it could be his
grateful.
burning bush.
We're gonna act
Well, then
right.
we have to get another house, and he can stay here, and I'm gonna get my little bath that I want.
Hey, but
Okay, with some
you're gonna
nice
have
new
to
tile.
be thankful. Amen.
I'm gonna be thankful. I keep it clean, but I done did the tile over. I done painted it. I done put some little pictures up and tried to make it work and changed the little shower curtain. So it's not horrible, but it's like, and it doesn't make any sense, like the way it's
So how
structured.
we
It's like a
from this
railroad
to this?
bathroom. So anyway,
Wait,
HGTV, yeah, somebody get in the car. Please
Okay.
continue.
that's going to be another part of our conversation because family, for those of you who are unaware and who do not follow them on social media, and I'm going to have to ask you to share that in a minute. But for those of you who do not, Marcus lovingly refers to his wife as Gus. Okay. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna tell y'all first of all, see, Carl, you can't leave it right there.
Lovingly.
Make sure we put a pin in that because we got to come back to that.
Yes, we do. Okay. We
You
do.
know.
Okay. Yeah, didn't I tell you? I told y'all family it's just nothing but shenanigans. I did, and I'm going to apologize to you for that right now. Okay. But I will say this, Marcus, you have not had to reel Gene and I in, okay? Because normally Marcus cracks the whip.
Y'all go left.
Well, we are
Yeah.
doing our best to maintain and sustain, okay, in this space right here. Okay.
We doing
So
good.
I cut you off. So okay. So we
So
were talking, you were saying, I'm sorry.
the shower. So the long showers. You know what I realized? Jen and I. We both are Christians, and just what I learned about prayer time. Really, what I'm learning is about just getting to a space where you can just be quiet and just listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really realized it like that. And so during when that moment happened, it was just we were blessed to have. It's one of those moments we were blessed to have. We had a good career thus far, but there was a lot of challenges, and so we're naming everything that you're hearing, even the blessings and the doors that are opening in our lives. You're talking about 2000. We probably started recording this music around 2002, maybe 2004, 3 or 4. And the album came out probably around 2005. So if you do the math and the years all the way up to 2014, like you have, the thing about it is that you have to be persistent and consistent. And with that, we end up, you end up tweaking things around, along the way. And that tweak was when we decided to start the Baylor Project. But all those things that we learned when I talked about hanging out with Carvin and Ivan, playing with all these different groups, and then we started producing together. So when you hear the Baylor Project, all those influences are there. But then on the other side was during that time period when we formed the band, it was like, excuse me, I want to get back to drums, playing drums more. And it was, doing the industry, things have changed, and it was challenging for us during that time. And it never felt, hearing that word never been so much, been clear in my life. Now I didn't know where we were going to start and how we were going to do it. And then after that, that's when the instructions and things started unfolding. And so I think it was I started making phone calls to do gigs at, various jazz clubs. And I remember getting in my feelings because it was like, man, I've been on the jazz scene for years and I can't even receive a call back. And so what ended up happening is I remember I told Gene, I said, hey, you need to meet a mentor of mine who was my teacher by the name of Buster Williams, who's originally from Camden, New Jersey. He's a legend. I mean, Sarah Vaughan, Kwame McCrae, Betty Carter. I mean, Herbie. I mean, if you Google his name,
Nancy Wilson.
Yeah. Yes.
You will find everybody he has played with. And the reason why I said that to Gene, I said the thing about it is that when we step out here, you always want to get the blessing of an elder.
This is
in
true.
terms of that, hey man, that we're doing it right. And I told her, I said the difference on the jazz world and the more like, R&B and pop, industry side of things is like, hey, a musician hear you and they dig you, and next thing you know, that's the start of your career and you're out on the road for the next, couple weeks. So I remember Gene met Buster, and I said one thing in jazz and the R&B industry side, people gonna ask for, hey, you got 2 or 3 songs, which is cool. You got a demo, all that. That's awesome, which is cool. But in jazz, it's like, okay, let me hear you sing something. And
exactly.
And I remember Gene sat at the piano and played, and Buster went and
grabbed. That's all it.
And he got his bass, and Buster's real honest too. I seen him in action in college, and so I think it was maybe a couple weeks later, he called Gene to guest with his band, and it was a heavyweight band of some amazing musicians, and through that, the relationship through the years. So it started there.
You know what? Let me tell you something, because Gene, you and Gene both are heavyweights. That's what we all know. And so it's no surprise to me. No, it's no surprise to me at all. But listen, what we're going to do is we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back. Family, stay with us.
Stand with WURD Radio, Pennsylvania's only black-owned talk radio station. Join the movement to keep the conversations going and amplify the voice of the black community. Show your support. Start or renew your WURD membership today at WURDradio.com or call 215-425-7875.
A lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player for the Indianapolis Colts. Becoming a running back was no easy task for me, but it's nothing compared to what my amazing mom faces every day. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14 years old, yet she's always there for me, every step of the way, despite her own battles. And the Muscular Dystrophy Association is there for my mom. At their 150 care centers across the U.S., MDA is the leading organization in research and care for kids and adults with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Their research is helping find cures and save lives. Watching my mom go through her daily struggles and the care she receives from MDA has made me determined to help find a cure for neuromuscular disease. That is why I support MDA, and that's why I'm so grateful to others who do too. Join me and learn more at helpmda.org today.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Imagine you on a deserted island all by yourself, or even being in a crowd of people yet still feeling alone. That's what being a victim of sexual assault can feel like. Victims of sexual assault are at an increased risk for developing depression, PTSD, substance abuse, eating disorders, and anxiety. Sexual assault can happen to anyone and is any unwanted sexual contact such as unwanted touching, fondling, groping, or even rape. No always means no, so speak up and speak out. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media. Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Philadelphia. Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media at 96.1 FM and 900 AM. We are happy that you are joining us. We have been talking with none other than the Baylor Project, Marcus and Jean Baylor. And when I tell you that there has been nothing but shenanigans taking place, believe me, okay? Believe me when I tell you. Well, those of you who've been with us, you know, but we're glad to have you join us. So, you know, we can all have fun together. But we spent the last hour talking about, you know, who you guys are in the industry and how you came together as the Baylor Project, and I want to continue the story you were telling us about Mr. Williams, but I also, now that we're at the top of the second hour of the show, I also want to get into who you are as man and wife and how that works on the road, what that looks like in the
Girl, I'm gonna transition all that.
Oh,
I got it.
Time for a Negro spiritual now.
Oh no.
Is there one?
Oh my goodness. You see what I mean, family? Do you see what I mean? Okay, so one thing I want to start with. Okay, you got it, Marcus? You got it?
I'm gonna do. I took the long road in telling this story just so people understand the process.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this. So after Gene did the gig with Buster Williams, the club owner came over to us. Well, came over to Gene and said, "Hey, would you like to do something here?" And I said, "Oh, wow." Well, Gene told me, I was like, "Oh, that would be awesome." I said, "That would be the first start of the Baylor Project." Now, I was in my feelings because the club owner didn't ask me, because I've been in Haswell forever. But then I got out of my feelings real quick. So long story short, our first gig was like, October 23rd. I can't remember the year, 2014 or something like that. And that started with playing in like a club that seats 50 people. We started there and that took off. And we did twice. It's 3 sets, twice a month for like 8 months. And that totally opened up the door. We was managing ourselves. We was booking ourselves. We was doing all these things. I mean, we run our own record label. Gus over here do the royalties. We was just doing everything. And so to fast forward, that reason why I took the long road, because it's about understanding the process. And so to fast forward to all this is, I remember once we started touring, we used to, be in the same hotel rooms, the same hotel room. And didn't realize, see, we was playing like club gigs around the area. I didn't realize this. And she told me, she said, "Babe, we need to get separate hotel rooms." And I didn't realize it. But the reason is that like when we finish gigs, we unwind differently. Before gigs, we got a different process. So when after gigs, I come, I come downstairs and I watch ESPN. She don't want to see none of that. He want to see me in a
Because he
little
already done watched the games. So I'm like,
That's what
why are
he
you
said.
watching the highlights
He
of
don't want to
games
watch
you already
basketball.
watched?
And
It's
so
too
she goes,
much. I like
so,
basketball. It's just overkill.
so there it is. And so, and then this is, so once we started going out on the road, let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
I'm grateful for every gig we do. If anybody hear this and want to book the Baylor project, just make sure Gina and I, we got to have 2 separate rooms. Like that space, God is everything. With that space and time, I don't gotta hear nobody warm up. I fight over the bathroom when you first get playing. Amen.
Amen.
Okay,
Trying to
don't
do my hair, and he told me, I got the bobo. I don't nobody. Don't nobody. Don't know. It's all steamy and I'm like, this. I mean, now it's it's back to short again. But I'm saying,
I don't got
sis
this
had
all.
a perm.
Just turn to your neighbor, say space.
Space.
So
It's a beautiful thing.
So it's really, so even being out on the road and being married, it's like it was an adjustment, because it's like, not to sound harsh, but it's like when you have a regiment, like Jen got a totally different regiment than I have. Like I have to go over to the venue early. I got to set up my clothes. Like all that stuff is like I don't rush really. I have it planned down to the minute most of the time. Gene could literally be laughing with you, Carl, and going crazy. Oh, it's time for me to sing? Okay, cool. And she runs to the stage and sing. If I do that, Carl, the whole gig is blown. It's blown. Our preparation process.
It's a little different. It's a little different.
Time, and now this is the other side, is that when you go out on the road, because it's like we're married, but we both are, I don't even want to use the word artists, we both are musicians. In order for us to get into our regimen and space, people don't really understand that. It's like, like after the gig, Gene is a social person, and I'm gone. I'm like, I leave her out there talking. But I do a lot of talking on the mic.
Wait a minute.
And she doesn't say that much, but it just so it just being able.
Because if I start talking on the microphone, we ain't gonna be doing but laughing, clowning. I remember I had a show. It was before the Baylor Project, and it was just me and guitar player, and it was acoustic, and it was real nice, and it was a room full of black folks, and we just got good and greasy and comfortable, and girl, I started talking, and yeah, honey, we was laughing so hard for like 40 minutes. I forgot that I was supposed to be singing. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be singing. What's the next song? And Marcus is looking at me like, what is wrong with you? So I don't get the microphone. I'll be like, hello, good evening.
What you do talk on the mic?
God bless. A little bit.
Well,
but you're so good
That's
at
terrible.
It. It's good.
It is adjustment though, because I remember one time, you asked me, hey babe, go out and give me something to eat. When? And you remember that? I think we were somewhere. You was like, babe, go on and grab me something to eat. Because when I get on I think it was somewhere, and I said we both were artists. Remember I told you that?
Wait, what did you do?
Okay.
Wait, family, let me. Okay, see, this is what happens when I talk to Gene and Marcus, the Baylor Project. I have to let you know. Okay.
Tell her that story.
Yeah, I think I asked him to get me. He was like, we both artists. I'm like, Negro, if you don't go get you.
But then
he tried to pull the artist card on you.
Don't you be knocking in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Then, we are. Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. So we were in DC at the Blues Alley, and so he went out. We had just driven down, and then he was like, all right, I'm gonna go get something to eat or whatever. So he went out and didn't bring me nothing, not even a bread.
No, y'all gotta hear that.
Wait a minute. You were playing at Blues Alley, and so where did you went elsewhere to get food?
Well, this was before we went to sound check, so it was like lunch.
Okay.
And he was
deal with Carl.
He told me it's a lot to deal with because I'm picky, and I'm like, we're married. If anybody knows about us, I like to eat. I know what you like to eat, but you don't like to eat, right?
No. Anybody that drink mocha, half milk and half oat, and like y'all do, y'all
almond. I didn't know nobody say nothing about no mocha.
No mocha.
Nobody say nothing about no mocha. And then he'll come back with mocha, and I'll be like, I don't like mocha. I don't want mocha. So he'll get. Now I am a little particular about certain things, but again, we married, so you're supposed to know these things. I know. He comes back with nothing. Okay, and I'm like, you didn't bring me nothing. You know I likes to eat. Okay, and yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's just too much. That's just too much. It's just. Well, when we on the road, that's what he said, Kel. That's what he said. When we on the road, we ain't married. I was like,
no, don't say that. Now, you said a bit too much now.
Wait a minute.
You're doing too much.
Hold up now.
Wait a minute.
Hold up now. We just started like, we ain't married. We on the road.
Wait a minute.
So,
wait a minute.
When we had them separate rooms, don't be rolling up talk about 2:00 in the morning.
Stop.
You hear that little? Let me put my speaker down. Like, it's too late for the cleaning people. I didn't call the manager or the security. Hello, who is it?
You two.
What's up, babe? It's me, babe. But we ain't married on the road. What you talking about? Why you coming to my room?
I gotta get some toothpaste from you.
Why you coming to our room? Why you coming to our room?
I gotta get toothpaste from you.
Yeah, Yeah,
But then
okay.
this was crazy. In separate rooms, she still can't leave me alone.
You don't leave me alone because you forgot your toothpaste. I mean, sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh, I didn't bring no pajamas. You got an extra T-shirt? And he's like, you go be you married on the road or off the road. That's right.
First of all, I cannot believe he did not say that to you. Wait,
Girl,
family, let me just let you know
that ain't what
you are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Okay, so now what you should know, okay, is that this is about couples. This is about love. This is about love. Okay, now we're talking with the Baylor Project, none other than Marcus and Jean Baylor, and I mean, that I don't know that I heard that correctly. Marcus, did you tell your wife that when you're on the road, you're not married? Is that what you said?
That ain't sounding right. The way
no, it is not sounding right.
Let me tell you what that meant. No, that had to. This is no. Let me clean it up.
This is not.
So
I'm gonna mute myself.
So let me just give it. So let me tell you, when Jean gets ready to go out on tour, only thing she has to worry about, she looking at me like, okay, brother. Only thing I'm just saying, only thing she has to worry about is mainly her clothes.
Okay.
And make sure she got her stuff.
Okay.
I got a backpack with percussion stuff, her microphones, because we in COVID, amen. You bring your own mic.
Amen. As do I.
I gotta bring cymbals. We stopped bringing the sheet music. The guys bring their own music. But
okay.
I got to make sure the CDs are packed. I got to make sure it's square.
Yes.
Square thing just in case, because it's still independent. But
yes.
Then after the gig, I got to make sure that the square and all that stuff is hooked up. So in order for me to get in that zone, I got to make sure all the my clothes are packed, but I got to make sure that things are down to the T. So by the time we drove 3 hours, I was just thinking about all these things that it take to get to the stage, and we got to do all this. Like, we don't do it as much, but I remember literally we would perform and then run back and sell our own CDs after that.
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
in some scenarios, we still do.
So with that being said, and and both of you all know this.
Yeah.
There is the rest of the band can eat in between shows. Well, y'all speakers, so y'all got a whole nother thing that y'all got to be careful of. But the reason why I can't necessarily eat in between the show, I don't want to be all that full, but this is the other side. There is no eating after the show because you're going to be talking to people. So if you don't do what you're going to do before the gig,
right,
your whole thing is just
you're right,
out of whack, because we don't have the same luxuries. You know this as artists that, okay, man, I can finish the show. I can go back and just relax and chill and eat something. No, it's like you're going to talk and shake hands. And, sometimes you see family and friends, people and so it's just a whole, it's a whole thing. So that statement came with the stress, amen, anxiety, knowing what was lying ahead. And hold on, and then for that particular gig, amen, the man of God even brought, well, we have back line, but the man of God. So you got to think about it. Drum,
and he do be holding it down like on all this other stuff. He like, all you got to worry about is your clothes. And as female artists, that's a lot. It's like trying to figure that out, because if I get dressed the way I want to dress, I'll be up in a onesie. Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Jean, we talked about that. Okay. We talked about that.
So look here, you don't got to be bringing all them hats.
I mean, you do be you be diving out on your hats. He be diving out on his hats. So hat boxes. If you ever see us travel with a bunch of hat boxes, trust it ain't mine. I'm just trying to get some soup.
Hey y'all, we love each other, y'all, for real. But
right.
First of all, this is nothing but love. Okay? This is nothing. You cannot. I'm sorry, you cannot call your wife Gus and say it publicly, okay, and still be married, and we not know that you two love each other. You hear me? First of all, okay, let me do this because I do want you to share your socials because here I am. I'm discombobulated. I would love for you to share your socials so that everybody, all of our family members who are not following you can do so and can become even more familiar. And also, I would love for you, Marcus, to please share with us from where Gus came. Like what?
Okay.
So socials first, please.
On Facebook, we the Baylor Project. On Instagram, we the Baylor Project, and on Twitter, we Baylor Project. And so, where does Gus come from? So you're hearing about all these home improvements, right? But it runs on her. It runs on her side of the family. Look here, I'm still a man, But
wait a minute. Wait, when you start a sentence like,
no.
You can't start.
I was like, I don't know where this is going.
Because people gonna be like, well, okay, we're gonna start right there.
Okay.
But
okay.
I don't do any of the home improvement in our house.
Okay.
I don't do any painting.
No.
Okay.
Nor do I want him to.
And Gus don't want me involved. And that's just not my ministry. The only brush I can pick up is a drum brush. I paint.
He said when he was like in preschool and you had to paint, he was like, I could never paint in the lines, right?
So that's that. So Gus lays tile, he lays the floor.
I only did vinyl tile. I haven't done
ceramic
ceramic yet.
Ego name, and one day it came up, and I was just saying, what happened, baby?
You were coming up with these weird names, and then I was like, nah, I don't like that. Don't call me that. Don't call me that. He was just like, Gus, and I'm like, I like that one. He's like, why you like Gus?
And our buddy Jeff Tane once put a spin on it. He said he called you Lady Gus.
Lady Gus.
Lady.
That's nice.
Because
Lady Gus.
She taps into her Gus, like you got to see her in action when she's doing home improvement. She lays some time.
Oh, I love it.
Oh man, look.
I mean, like,
holla. I don't know if I can flip it around.
No, I love it.
I got this thing of paint just waiting, and you see that my drill. I got a nice little drill.
Wait, is that a tub of paint?
It's a tub.
Wait, I have one of. Okay, so let me take family. For those of you who cannot see, Jean, aka Lady Gus, is showing us. I have that same bag.
Ain't
okay.
Listen.
Okay, she is showing us her tool kit. Okay, I have the same exact
her Mother's Day gift.
Yeah,
Mother's Day gift. I ain't got no kids.
Let me tell you, I love that bag. Okay,
I was so excited. Like,
for those of you who cannot see, let me tell you something, Jean. I am in love with your bag because I have the same exact bag, but I'm more interested in that tub. That
big old.
It's huge.
That's like a 5-gallon tub that I painted this room, and I'm gonna go upstairs into the bedroom. I think I got one more good room left in it.
Hold on, who put up them shelves?
What shelves?
Family.
Oh, I did.
Oh, see, family. Okay, listen. That tub is about half my height. But I can tell you, Jean, she knows what she's doing. I can
a little bit.
She knows what she's doing. Their home is beautiful. You hear me? Their home is beautiful. But I love it though, because you know what I love? Because both of you have identified what you do and what you do not. You know your strengths and your weaknesses.
For real.
Marcus said, look, I don't pick up a paintbrush. Okay. He said, I don't even pick up the hammer and the nails. You hear me? I don't want any part of it. And she doesn't want me to have any part of that. But I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because you have some people who don't know their ministry.
You play the piano and you need your hands. Well, I definitely need mine.
So I need mine.
I'm just saying.
So I can still sing without him, huh? That's what you said.
That's what he said. That's what he's telling us, okay? Family, if you just tuned in, if you just joined us,
Going down the road.
You are listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're at 96.1 FM and 900 AM. I am encouraging you, if you so feel inclined, to email us. And you can do so by emailing loveandlife@wordradio.com. That's WURD, of course. loveandlife@wordradio.com. We've been talking with the Baylors. They are our guests tonight. And I must say, I should have apologized at the top of the show by telling you that, when we get together, I lose all sense and all common sense, that is. And I get wrapped up in their stories and their lives and what have you. I really do. But I love it. And I'm sure by now you can see why, because they're just so lovable. But so now we know that Jean is Gus, aka Lady Gus. Okay. So Marcus, what would be your what's your talent? What's your talent around the house? Now we know. Okay, let me because that was too general, because we already know, who you are in the industry. But what's your talent around the house?
I don't think to be honest with you. Again, I'm still a man, and
You exterminate well, because I used to pay like $100 for professional services for like household spiders, and I'd be like, you can get money out of me on some bugs. And because he doesn't just spray, he gets into a whole mindset where he has like his little hat on. And he does the whole like deacon thing, and he pulls his pants up. Yeah, he looks like he's either deacon or like somebody who...
Wait a minute. Marcus, I want to hear you explain, but family, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back, and we're going to hear Marcus tell us how he exterminates when he does his deacon thing. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hopkins, aka The Food Griot, the host of Savory and Sweet, a new show about food, history, and culture. Savory and Sweet is a flavorful exploration of food, marinated in the Black experience, seared with history and braised in culture. Each week, I'll fold in conversations that center food and drink at the intersection of business, health and well-being, entertainment, education, and innovation, while separating the facts from fiction on the sometimes surprising origins of what we eat and drink. So join me, the Food Griot, and special guests for Savory and Sweet, Food, History, and Culture every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things can never ever be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
Black Americans have died of COVID-19 at over 2 times the rate of white counterparts. This is due to systemic racism and healthcare disparities. Here are some tips for protecting yourself. Wear a mask covering your mouth and nose. Avoid crowds. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use alcohol-based sanitizers. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Practice social distancing and follow World Health Organization guidelines. Quarantine if you've been exposed to the virus. Self-isolate if you're experiencing symptoms. Seek medical attention if you experience difficulty breathing, a fever, cough, sudden confusion, or pressure in your chest. If you don't have health insurance or a healthcare provider, try contacting your state health department, community health clinics, or local hospitals for testing and treatment. Together, we can stay informed and empowered. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
When I cross the finish line, it's not just me. I succeed because of others. When I was pregnant, I survived because of others. At 32 weeks, I was diagnosed with preeclampsia and had an emergency C-section. Because my doctor took quick action and my husband was there to help me, I'm alive. Too many women die of pregnancy-related complications, and most are preventable. If you or someone you know is pregnant or recently had a baby, learn the warning signs. It could help save her life. Hear her.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media at 96.1 FM and 900 AM. We are talking with none other than the Baylor Project, Marcus and Jean Baylor. So we've learned the story of Gus. We now know that Jean Baylor is Gus, aka Lady Gus. Okay, I love it. I love it. Okay. I see. I think Gus should have her own Instagram page because we should be able to follow all of the improvements that Gus makes and does. Okay. No, because no, because I tune in. When Gus is fixing something, I tune in. Okay. As a Lady Gus herself, I tune in. Now, I haven't laid any floors, but it's always, informational, entertaining, and exciting to me to watch Gus, So
Lady Gus.
But yeah, Lady Gus, that just kills me, Lady Gus. I'm going to thank him for that, please, for all of us.
We need a
But
t-shirt.
Marcus,
Yes.
yeah, Lady Gus, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus, I want to hear about the deacon thing. I want to know what it is that you do when you are exterminating, because now we know that's your special power in the house.
Well,
What?
But first of all, for those, unless you just got a really bad problem, which I don't know, but I'll just rant. But so I use this. First of all, you got to go to Home Depot and get that Arthro defense or whatever that is, like these spiders or whatever.
And home defense.
Home defense, there it is. And I watched the exterminators come in and spray throughout the house over the years. And I see it's a certain mindset and attitude you got to tap into. Even those when deacons do work or just older folks, it's a certain thing of, it's a thing of security. Like you see them, they come fix stuff. Like when you have your uncle or somebody, and so they have on a hat like this or something, and they come on and say, "Hey, what's the problem?" I'm like, "All right, let me run out to the truck and grab what I need to grab." And you come back, and this is what's going on in my head.
You got me tearing up. Wait a minute.
All this is going on in my head. So it's like it's an attitude. Like I can't. Like if I'm playing drums or being a musician or a producer, it's an outfit. It's a certain attitude and mindset you got to have when you do it. It's a space.
No, please tell us about the outfit. What is the outfit? What
I
is
may be in some old sweatpants. Oh, I may be. It's a feeling. It's like a character.
He gets
And
into
so
a
I go
whole
around the
mode.
house
Like,
and spraying them
all right now.
baseboards. Now I only can deal with spraying for insects. Like if you don't have any. So if you have them, no, I can't help you. And only insects. Don't do the other ones. I just say that. I can't. I'm no good.
He would be worthless.
Gus
I
gonna have
would be
to
too.
do that.
Gus can't handle that. Gus will burn the house down on purpose.
So,
Marcus, did you say only? Wait, only if you don't have them.
Yeah. Okay. This is prevention before the situation occurs. Like if you see a or maybe an ant, okay, we good. Ant, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
And do crickets?
Yeah, crickets, I'm cool with that.
No, oh
I
wait,
can't handle
okay,
them.
no, okay, no sprickets. Okay, I'm terrified of sprickets. For those who are unfamiliar, they are spider crickets, aka sprickets. I am no.
Disgusting.
I
Like,
am
why?
terrified of sprickets. Terrified, and they jump on me. Okay.
Oh God, because they know.
Bugs. I don't. What do they know,
They
Jane?
do.
What do they know?
I think they know. Let me tell you something.
Let
me tell you something.
They do. No,
I had to go to court over during.
Oh, hear this story.
Wait a minute. What now?
What's them things called? What's the things called, Marcus? Dragonflies.
Yeah.
One of those landed on me too.
Let me tell you something. They know. I don't care what nobody says. They know.
They're supposed to be good luck, but it didn't feel like good luck to me.
Watch this.
$400 worth of good luck. You can keep your good luck.
Watch this foolishness. Watch this, y'all.
So, Lady Gus was coming back from Home Depot with the wrong paint colors for my bathroom. For the ugly bathroom. I was trying to make it better. Beautiful summer day, windows down, because that's how I roll, like the fresh air.
Right.
And pulled up to the stop light. There was nobody behind me, but there was somebody in front of me. Pulled up, just chilling, enjoying the summer. All of a sudden, it's like dragonfly comes like this. It's right there, like on the outside of the
glass
windshield. Yeah, it was outside.
Okay.
And it's like it's like dancing and levitating, and it's like looking at me. It's not like fly away. No, it's
I'm coming for you.
I like to eat little black girls for lunch on summer days. And I was just like, and I freaked out. And instead of, I don't know, rolling the window up, I put my car in reverse and went and slammed on the accelerator into a car that, why they had to come up behind me, I don't know. Bam! And I'm like, oh my God! And so my beautiful summer day was ruined. I was so upset. And then the guy gets out of the car, and he's just like one of them dudes that's just like all extra. Like he wasn't mean, but he was just like, and nothing was wrong with his car. So he called the cops, and like nothing was wrong with his car, right? The little H from the Honda fell off. Other than that, nothing was wrong with the car. So then we waiting there, and I'm so upset, and I'm like, oh my God. And I don't think I called Marcus because I was like, oh no, I can't handle that right now. He's like, so then, of course, now Dragonfly Jones is nowhere to be found, right? He's like nowhere. So we're sitting there waiting. The cop comes, and he was cool, but this was like 2 summers ago when everything. I'm just like, oh God, So then he was like, okay, asked us a couple questions, and then he was like, there's nothing wrong with the car, but okay, we're just gonna write it up. And he gave me a little ticket. It was like $85 ticket, and then I had to go to court because the points and yada yada. Had to hire an attorney. That's where the other $350 came in. So I'd go to court and I stand in front of the judge. And then here's the weird thing. See, this is what goes through creative people's minds. The judge is like coughing, and I'm like, oh, he needs a Ricola. And then my other side was like, don't you offer that man a Ricola? And the other was like, but he's about to cough up a lung. The man needs a Ricola, and I got it right in my purse. And the other voice was like, don't don't tell the judge.
Don't.
Shut up. I'm like, well, maybe I could give it to the bailiff. Stop it. No, that's not a good idea. But this side would not tell me why it was a good idea. But it was just like, nope, 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 nope. And I didn't think I was going to have to talk because that's why the attorney's there. Why would I hire an attorney if I have to go talk? And then I have to go and freaking talk. So I'm practicing because people are talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, get your thoughts together. Focus, 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 focus. And then when I went up and I'm like, hi, yes, I did this. And I just kind of lost focus on the dragonfly. And then whatever. And then the judge was like, So, and he was like, well, she take responsibility. So the dude, because he was like Mr. Justice, like, because to get the thing, you got to say not guilty to plead. You know what I mean? Even though, you got to do it. So he was like, I'm going to show up. He's like Fire Marshal Bill. Like, dude, you don't have anything better to do? Like, what are you even talking about? I'm going to serve justice today. And anyway, paid that money. The judge was like, cool, no problem. And that was the end of that. But we had to come up off of $400. Now, here's the funny part. When I came home that day, I was shaking up. I was a little upset. I was a little traumatized. And Marcus, he didn't really have the pity on me that he should have had. As a husband. He should have been like, oh, honey, what's wrong? Instead, I don't know. What happened? What happened? Where the car at? What's on the car? What? You did what? How did you do that? I was like, I need compassion right now. And he was like, you come up in here with a little tear in your eye. A little tear in your eye. I was like, that's what? I didn't want to tell you nothing.
Family, this is 20 years of marriage here, okay? Now, understand, this is 20 years here, okay? We are talking with the Baylor Project. Jean and Marcus Baylor. Family, understand. This is love. This is love right here. This is love. You see for those of you who can see, do you see their faces? Do you see the looks of love on their faces? If you have just tuned in, you are listening to and watching Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. This is nothing but love. That's all I see. I see love. Marcus, I don't understand. Man. I think what happened was that Marcus was, he was shaken in that moment because,
no, he wasn't.
$400 shaking.
Wait. What's I'm at to drive to Philly, right? I'm singing a funeral. And it was one of them smaller, narrow streets. Mm-hmm. So I was parked fine, but somebody went past it and sideswiped and like not the whole car, but the what's that called? The rear view mirror.
Okay.
Thing. Okay. And so he like broke off. I was like, I'm out, and I'm like, oh man. But the cool thing was, not for nothing, it was brother. He put the thing on top of the car. He
lit the mirror.
Yep, the whole rear view mirror, just the whole thing came off. He put it on top of the hood. He wrote a little note. Nice. This is my name number. I'm like, oh man, thank you. And then I called him and he worked it out. He was like, yeah, let me know what it costs to replace it, blah, blah, blah. But
it was very nice.
It was very nice. But sometimes husbands need a little help in the right direction. Okay. So, and I hear lots of big brothers that like really love me. So on the way home, hey babe, oh man, somebody hit the what? What do you mean? How you was parked wrong? I was just like, oh my God, you need to make sure I'm okay. It's just a car. So he went into his man mode. He got me so mad. He was all the way up here, and I was so mad. Now normally I don't do this. No, that's not something that we normally do. But on that day, because I was about to crash anyway with him hollering, I hung up. Oh. And then I hung up on him. And then I called his older brother, Lorenzo. And his older brother, Lorenzo, right? He about 5 times as big as Marcus.
You call for backup?
Oh, I call for backup. And I go, Lorenzo, Marcus is getting up. What'd he do? He got a real big look. First said, what'd he do? What'd he do, G? He did. And then he went, come on, click. And then, Marcus, I don't know what he said on that phone call, but what I do know is less than 3 minutes later, her husband called back, talk about, hey babe, are you all right? I'm just calling to check you all right.
And I put my foot up, my big brother behind.
Did you?
I said, gee, I would put my foot up his behind.
I got like a whole bunch of older brothers.
Oh. Oh, wait, see, you had to check your brother because he first called to check you after after your
He
wife
don't.
called.
He don't check him. He don't
He didn't
check
check.
him.
He didn't.
He be talking all that smack. It's the same brother that whoop him every time we go home Christmas. Come on, poo poo poo. It's hilarious.
Gene,
Gene,
you're
I'm
not
gonna
supposed
get
to
him.
tell us. You're not supposed to tell us
He do.
that.
Oh, it's public knowledge now. We put it on the Instagram. It's quite funny
Oh,
because
I missed that post.
he talks smack all year long, and he got two brothers just that can't wait to put hands on him. Poof, 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 because he's the youngest of 9, and mostly brothers and older big brothers. So I have a nice support system.
Gene, you are not supposed to be so happy telling us that. You're telling us that he didn't give you
Right.
compassion. Did it show you? You're supposed to be compassionate when your
All I
husband's
really am.
brothers attack him. Okay, you are not.
I just ask him,
supposed-
don't maim him now. Don't cripple him. Have a little grace. I'm not going. And Lorenzo, oh, Gene, I ain't gonna mess up his employment, but he gonna feel it today. What he do?
What did you? Family, oh my goodness. Okay, do you see I cannot contain myself? Do you hear the do you hear what's happening here? You are tuned in to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We are having a great time, and I'm just prayerful that you are having as good a time as we, because we can't see you. But in any event, we want you to stay with us because we're going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Word on Jobs. A new year is here, and if you're searching for new career goals or a new job that fits your skill set, visit wordworks.com to view jobs and program opportunities, including Community Relations Coordinator for WHYY, Disability Services Director for NBME, and Policy Director for Bicycle Coalition of Greater Philadelphia. Visit WordWorks at word.com and find the career opportunity that's right for you. Brought to you by Pico and Livelihood at Word Radio.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
We're often influenced by what we see or hear on social media. Beware of disinformation campaigns targeting Black communities by using cultural issues to incite divisions, spread false information, and negatively influence public opinions. We're in this together, and together we can stay informed and empowered. Learn more at nbcit.org. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things will never ever be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night, too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
Hey family, I'm Carol Riddick.
And I'm Donavan West, and we're the hosts of Love and Life, a new show about,
well, love and life.
This show is an informative, entertaining, and refreshing take on the hard conversations about love and life.
Each day, we'll provide real facts and honest opinions on dating, sexual health, casual, and committed relationships.
These late night conversations will be served on a judgment-free platter and seasoned with unapologetic realness.
So join us Sunday night through Thursday night at midnight on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Independent Black Media.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. We are now in the final stretch of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're at 96.1 FM and 900 AM. I want to remind you, since we are in the final few minutes of our program and of this episode, that you can email us at loveandlife@wordradio.com. That's WURD, of course. loveandlife@wordradio.com. You can email us comments, questions. You can even email us suggestions for topics, or if you just want to say hello, because we like that too. We've been talking with none other than my good friends, the Baylor Project. Marcus and Jean Baylor are joining us this evening on this good evening, and we've been talking about a few things. Okay, so now I don't want to do the whole recap, because let me tell you, I'll get caught up in something. I'll tell you, I'll get stuck on something if I recap. But I want to know one thing. What would you say is the best, and I don't want to say the worst, but most challenging thing? The best and the most challenging thing about working together?
Balance.
That's a great answer.
The best thing, or is that the challenging thing?
Because you never
Is that the best part or the most challenging?
challenging. Because you never turn off from work.
Time out. He don't turn off from work. I can turn off from work in a hot minute. I could turn around and be like, whoop, time to take a break. Yeah. But it is balance, though, because even still, he has a constant thing going on, right? And I may have a billion things to do, and so I have to. It's still a challenge for me to balance it out, though, because it's like, how do I balance having all these different things to do and making sure that I'm able to, take care of our personal and time and my individual time as an individual, and for him as an individual too, though. So, but I think that you'll find that a lot of working couples, some people can draw those boundaries where we have dinner, we don't talk about work during dinner, and that's just not us.
Yeah, because there's like, we run our own business, and the blessing of it is, it's expanding. And what I'm realizing is, the more people that you can bring on to help probably helps that. But I'm realizing as a leader, as much as you want to pass things off to people, you still have to oversee the vision of that thing. And that's what I'm learning as a leader. So sometimes you feel like it's hard to turn off. Like the business side of it doesn't allow you sometimes. Like, I guess you just have to shut off your phone, or, maybe something like that. I don't know. But it just always, because life is just so busy. So I think it's just that I have to work on really finding balance and just getting away, because it's like, that we both can get away because you can burn out as far as just business wise, but not really putting the proper time that you need into your marriage. Because being out on tour, I tried this early on. Being out on tour is not husband and wife time. That's two different.
Well, because I mean, if you think about it, we're not even really married when we go on the road, man.
Okay, Bill got to bring that back. That was old. You're going back to 2015. You get what I'm saying? We evolved, and I hope you evolved since then. Amen. We're better after that. Hey, she bringing up a 2022 situation.
That was let's say that's 2010. That's you know we back that's yeah. No. Y'all weren't married on the road in 2010, but you are now. Okay, see this is.
But you know it's hard to get a time to steal away. So now sometimes we may go a day early to a city or something like that.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
There's no responsibility because it's like, you know, when you're growing and you building this thing, it's a journey, and we handle so much of it, you know. And so just, you know, I think the thing about it is just really finding balance, and you have to demand that out of every area of your life, because if not, you have to make that a priority. It don't just happen.
So let me ask you this in 2 minutes. Can you tell me what like, you know, yin and yang, what your strengths and weaknesses are to each other? How do you hold each other up?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think one thing that I know 2 minutes, right? We'll be here for 30. One thing for us is obviously we're serious about us and what individually, but sometimes we don't take ourselves so seriously. Like if we're and that's both of us, probably because we're both Libras, I don't know, but we we can kind of laugh about stuff, and even like arguments, you know. I remember we had this argument years ago. This was like probably 15 or more years ago, and I don't know what we were fussing about, but we were just and so we both went outside, and he was going to his car to drive somewhere, and I was going to my car to drive somewhere. We're in the parking lot, and he says to me, he yells, he was like, "Your attitude sucks." And I was like, oh. And I turned around. This is the best I could do in that moment. It was remember the Titans. Attitude reflect leadership.
Did you hear that craziness?
And then we started laughing. We was like, all right, that's done. He just had to bust out laughing.
I mean, how could he not? I'm having difficulty containing myself, okay? Because I would have looked at you like, what? You want to try that again? Like, what? What? Attitude reflects leadership. You know what?
Attitude reflects leadership. And I love that movie.
Yes.
So I think that's one of our strengths. I mean, obviously in music and stuff, we have different strengths where we really hone in onto those things too, when we're writing and recording and producing and all that stuff. We're really kind of yin and yang on that too.
Right.
So I don't know.
I love that though. I mean, I think at its core, what you just said is that you don't take everything as, you know, as seriously. And including yourselves and one another. You kind of you work it out. You look at it from afar. You kind of assess it and say, okay, all right, well, let's just dig in, because look, we ain't going nowhere. Let's just dig in.
Right.
I must say, family. There's so much more that we could have talked about, but let me tell you, I got caught up, so I must apologize one more time to you all, because I can't help it. I can't help it when I talk to Jean and Marcus. I cannot help it. But that wraps up today's episode of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I want to extend my utmost gratitude to all of you for spending, you know, some time with us. You know, we love your company, and your attention is always welcome and appreciated. And I want to extend my gratitude to the entire WURD family, as always, you know, and to my alternating co-host, Mr. Donavan West, and a special thank you to our guests, you know, Marcus and Jean Baylor, aka the Baylor Project. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great morning, and have a great rest of your day. But remember, we are all in this together, okay? So be good to you, but be good to those around you. Make sure you join us at midnight for another edition of Love and Life on WURD. Be well.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hopkins, aka the Food Griot, the host of Savory and Sweet, a new show about food, history, and culture. Savory and Sweet is a flavorful exploration of food, marinated in the Black experience, seared with history and braised in culture. Each week, I'll fold in conversations that center food and drink at the intersection of business, health and well-being, entertainment, education, and innovation, while separating the facts from fiction on the sometimes surprising origins of what we eat and drink. So join me, the Food Griot, and special guests for Savory and Sweet, Food, History, and Culture every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Hey, Julia, are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Imagine you on a deserted island all by yourself, or even being in a crowd of people yet still feeling alone. That's what being a victim of sexual assault can feel like. Victims of sexual assault are at an increased risk for developing depression, PTSD, substance abuse, eating disorders, and anxiety. Sexual assault can happen to anyone and is any unwanted sexual contact such as unwanted touching, fondling, groping, or even rape. No always means no, so speak up and speak out. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.